work you do. I don't envy your job and having to listen to yahoo's like me, but here it goes. I'm not going to tell you I told you so or anything that you're doing is insane. I spent last night reviewing the entire video because I'm a glutton for punishment and wanted to be well informed. So I'm going to run through what I have, and I guess I'll mention my affiliations first. So I'm Blake Mensing, Chief Counsel and founder of the Mensing Group. I'm co-owner of Holyoke 420, an aspiring retail applicant in Holyoke, obviously, as well as a small-scale cultivator and craft rosin operator applying in the future under a company called Coyote Cannabis Corporation. With that said, I want to touch on a few things in the draft regulations and also just sort of frame this. So a lot of what I heard yesterday from some of the people with the public safety and public health concerns are based on fears of the plant that are so grossly disproportionate to the actual potential individual harm and societal harm that I just think it's unwise to say, to predict the sky falling in ways that aren't based in reality. So the lethal dose of THC in an adult human would be the equivalent of smoking 1,500 pounds of flower in 15 minutes, which is impossible. So there's been no recorded deaths in all of human history, and we're talking about this like it's uranium. I want to frame that. It can't kill you. It hasn't killed anyone in all of human history directly. To the definitions, I don't understand why you would include other than the dictionary definition of a greenhouse. It injects a layer of subjectivity that I don't understand. If the issue is relating to lighting, just list what supplemental lighting may be used. As some of the farmers who have skills in cultivation that I do not have mentioned, it doesn't work for outdoor or greenhouse if you have to use the sun, if you can't have your mother plants feeding a stream of clones into that for propagation. In addition, the regulatory definition, which is in guidance about what a mature plant is, which obviously canopy measurement is based on, is not based in botanical science at all, or the dictionary definition of the word mature. Mature means capable of sexual reproduction. An 8-inch plant is not capable of sexual reproduction. So everyone who had their 5,000 square foot canopy under microbusiness thought they had that much canopy, and they don't anymore. So I would advise you and urge you to just listen to the people who grow the plants as opposed to drawing an arbitrary line in the sand that hurts small businesses. On to the fees. I'm just curious what increase in service by the commission justifies a tripling of the manufacturing license fee. I think also the increase, obviously it's a new category, but the delivery-only license fee is more than a transportation fee. If this license type is intended to let people access this industry with less capital, I don't understand why it's so much more expensive. Also, I think the delivery-only retailer is a misnomer. It's a courier license. You can't purchase it and warehouse it. And retail has a specific dictionary definition as well. It's selling to the public and not for general wholesale. That said, I think delivery-only retailers, quote unquote, should be able to purchase from small businesses, co-ops, craft co-ops, micro businesses, and tier 1 and tier 2. I don't understand why you're handcuffing them to a brick and mortar retail store that drastically reduces their ability to make a profit, again, which is counter to the intent of opening up this license type. Social consumption, I have a question as to why there's no bring your own cannabis. I certainly understand it from a proprietor's perspective, but I don't understand why you couldn't have something akin to a corkage fee. The concern is that there's no place for certain people to consume legally in the state. Along those lines, there's a prohibition about delivery going to state-subsidized housing. I understand the federal subsidized housing. Why would you punish someone who needs assistance from getting a product that's legal? There's a monetary test about who can get cannabis now? That offends me greatly. Let's see, there's also some ambiguity about whether deliveries under these delivery-only retail licenses may deliver medical products. It references MJ retailer, but then says delivery to patients or qualified caregivers. So that's ambiguous. The definition of retailer is adult use, but you mentioned medical. And finally, 935 CMR 500, 100, subparagraph 4, subparagraph F, it makes an operator account for costs incurred under a host community agreement. That's not the operator's responsibility. And in fact, I've seen clauses in host community agreements that say, this is really hard to calculate this impact, so you operator agree at the outset that 3% is the right number. So how do you prove that? How do you show receipts for costs that weren't actually ever incurred? So I guess that wouldn't be me if I didn't mention host community agreements. But thank you very much. I appreciate your time and
Thank you, Blake.
appreciate your work.
Next speaker is Adrienne B.